All right, it's hot take time. That's right, I'm pointing. I mean business. Look how mad I am. But what's up, weirdos? Really quick, easy video here.
Let's go, in and out, 20 minutes adventure.
Because I just want to piss you off. I'm like the legacy media. I'm just going to bait you into the video and then talk to you about something completely different. No, not going to do that. I'm a little scatterbrained. We got caffeine going.
Yes!
It's Saturday morning. We're gaming. And, you know, just kind of putting things off until I have to do adult things. So, nice early morning to myself. And I just realized that I'm, like the title suggests, I'm sick of pronouns. I'm just sick. I'm just sick of them. Get a load of the cat. Yep. She is currently eating on the table because our puppy has decided that he is going to eat her food. And we haven't found a way to get him to stop yet, no matter what we do. And she's nimble. She can get to her food just fine. Thank you for making your appearance. But I'm getting sick of pronouns. Just sick of them. And before you report, before you freak out, let me explain. Because I'm kind of just sick of them all around. Whether it's the one perspective on the left side or progressive side, or it's the right pearl clutching side. Because I don't know why we care so much. If someone wants to be called something, so what? Who cares? Like, literally, who the fuck cares? Just, okay, if I say, you know, good morning, sir, and they say, actually, I prefer to use she, her. So what? I don't care. Are you really? I want to reach the point in my life where my whole fucking day is ruined by someone saying, well, actually, it's Zer. In my mind, okay, and in your mind, you are allowed to just be like, okay, you know. But in a civil society, just so what? Oh, sorry, you know, go for it. One of the jobs I used to work was in a call center.
Yeah, I just want to know how to turn off autocomplete when I type in my password.
Yes. I understand your frustration. Did you unplug your computer, ma'am?
And I actually only once did I talk to someone who openly stated that they were transgender. And I couldn't think of a more normal interaction. Like just a non-confrontational, just like their name on my file, you know, obviously I won't tell you the real name, but the name on the file was something like Chris. And now they were going by Nina, you know. And I said, you know, is Chris Smith there? They said, actually, you know, I'm Chris Smith, but I go by Nina Smith now. And it took about a quarter of a second, and I said, oh, all right. And really, really easy, okay? Follow along. This is some complicated social shit, okay? This is some real high-level wizardry. I was polite. Yeah, I'm being condescending on purpose because, again, I don't fucking get all of this, right? And don't worry, we're going to get to a little bit more of the explanation, but right now, the understanding is basically just be fucking polite. And I said to them, I said, oh, all right, not a problem. I said, I don't have a note of anything like that, so if you ever talked to us, you know, before, I don't think you have, but now that you have, I'll make a note of that. And I told them, I said, listen, I'm going to be fair to you and just warn you, probably going to slip up once or twice, but I will do my best to make sure I acknowledge, you know, your name, and I'll make a note in the account, you know, that's what you're going by. So the call went fine. They talked to me about payments. We set up payments, and I talked to them every month or so. Not even every month, every couple of months, because they did a couple payments at a time. And there was never any hostility. They were never mean back to me. They didn't get upset. They were just like, you know, even when I told them, I said, listen, I might slip up, so apologies, you know, but I can make a note in the account that you're going by Nina now. So if someone else slips up, please just give us a moment, remind us. we'll make sure we accommodate you. But so anyways, I love how the people that typically tend to get furiously inflammatory, just like wildly angry about pronouns and people who have preferred pronouns, or people that have the nerve to put pronouns in like their profile or whatnot. Those tend to be the people that are also really sensitive about language too, and it's amusing because it's like these people tend to also be the kinds that when 9/11 happened, everything with French in the name got the name freedom. We had freedom fries. Want your French toast? Nope. Freedom toast, baby. You know why? Because the French didn't want to go to war with Iraq. Everything was renamed freedom because French was... because clearly when you had French fries, what made them French fries was the fucking French. So we had to take that out of everything. This is the same party that renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Although they did that because Dad told them to. So these people care very much about language. You ever tried saying happy holidays to one of them? What do they normally react like? With calm, rational, No, they fucking lose their minds. Someone said happy holidays to me today. I knew Satan was real. The most unhinged, out-of-pocket, stupid fucking answers. They 100% care. The same people that call people snowflakes, everyone's so soft, but they're still just as guilty of it, of policing language and being upset when their preferred language doesn't enter, into the conversation. I will also be fair, okay, for the sake of transparency. I'm also really getting sick of it from the other side.
Oh, shit.
If I don't include he/him in my email signature, relax. I'm not a bigot. I just don't think I need to explain my pronouns if they're not anything beyond what is traditional amongst men and women. Now, traditional isn't the only right answer, but if I don't include my pronouns, okay, then you can assume. I don't know many women with full facial hair or with names like my name, which is a male name. I've never met a woman with my name. I don't know women who've ever been named with my name. That is me telling you, you can just assume, the same people, right, that would get upset at that sort of thing, get upset that they aren't included in absolutely everything, or that, it goes back to the whole like gay cake thing, like that whole, and I won't get into that too much because I don't know a whole ton about it a whole lot of depth on it. I just know the top layers of it. And if you remember it, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it was basically a bakery got a whole fuckload of flack because they wouldn't make a cake for like a gay wedding or something like that. And it caused this huge hoopla of like some people saying the bakery should burn and everybody should be hung that works there. And then the other side saying, America, kill the gays. And that was basically the only two sides. There was no middle. If you were in the middle, you were a traitor, to both sides. But yeah, it's both sides have had a little too much of the pronouns, okay? A little too much. One side lacks self-awareness, clearly is not focusing on real problems that are facing this fucking country. Like the fact that like somewhere around 60% of Americans would be absolutely bankrupt if they faced a $500 expense right now because they're living paycheck to paycheck under glorious leader daddy, and who, by the way, is spending like mad, okay? But I can't say his name or else you get accused of having Trump derangement syndrome, unless of course you say it like,
your dick, my mouth.
that's okay. But if you say Trump in any other, if you say Trump in any other arrangement of words, you're deranged and you have brain damage. So just like if you say anything remotely positive about Trump, it means that you are Turbo Hitler.
Fuck you!
And you want to kill all the orphans. We are just a society of extremes anyways, aren't we? But maybe this is just my old man arc beginning, right? But I just don't get why people just don't have can't just leave people alone. Just leave each other alone. Who fucking cares, man? Let people live their own goddamn lives. I mean, it sounds easy to say it like that, I know, and maybe it's dismissive to a degree, but like, I don't get it. You know, the ones that there's the political charging, like, I'm a huge fucking nerd. Obviously, you can see Tarkov videos on my channel. I play video games, and Starfield was one of the biggest disappointments in recent memory for me because I'm a huge Todd Howard and Bethesda fan. Fucking love the shit out of Fallout, all the games. I love all of them. Maybe Fallout 76, but not really. Love Skyrim.
Get these soy boys out of the carts! Yeet!
No, stop! We're not betas!
I'm playing the hell out of the Oblivion remaster because Oblivion was one of the first introductions I had to Bethesda. And Starfield was horrendous. And one of the most hilarious fucking controversies around Starfield was the pronoun debacle.
Well, guess what? Fucking pronouns!
Okay. People actually lost their minds, and a few grown men went on screaming rants because Starfield committed the war crime of having a toggle to give your character specific pronouns in a very obscure menu option choice in just like a side area. It wasn't like you're in the character creator, and as you're changing the body type, then you like customize the face, the tattoos, and then the next page, all of a sudden, it's just giant rainbow dicks, and it just goes, "Welcome, gay king."
Fuck you.
We need your pronouns. Literally this little toggle, and motherfuckers lost their mind, calling the game woke, and like, I could sit here and complain for fucking days about this woke shit on both sides again, because I'm a terrible centrist that has no hard opinions. No, I just don't find myself leaning radical on these sides, which is a real fucking bummer that you can't do anything except have a radical opinion to one side or the other. You can never have something that's moderate. And I'm not even sitting here trying to fucking fence it. You know, just, you can't have a moderate opinion. It has to be insane. If you don't have an insane opinion, like, the goalposts just keep getting pulled further and further back on both sides. And people wonder why fucking goons like Donald Trump get elected, or why fucking goofballs that end up in places of power end up where they are. It's because everything's to the extreme now. But again, soapboxing, I know. But then again, this whole fucking video is soapbox now, ain't it? But it's just, you know, again, we need to relax with the pronoun stuff. Not only does it not need to be everywhere, it also doesn't need to be treated like it's one of the horsemen of the apocalypse or something like that. You know, people act like, you know, they see they go on like their Twitter account and they see in their profile, it gives their pronouns. All of a sudden, it means that not only are they brain damaged and stupid, but they're definitely terrorists.
This plane's going to Miami!
You know, and you think I joke, but like, you literally go anywhere on the internet, and I know the internet is a bad representation of most people, but let's face it, a lot of people, more and more every single day, are online. More and more are going to be online by the end of the year, and it just keeps ballooning. And as the older generations die off, let's be honest, more and more people are going to be online, and less are going to be disconnected, right? So every single day that passes, when older generations continue to die and the newer generations continue to be raised by the internet, essentially, this is going to become less and less true that the internet is not accurate of most people. You know, and of course, there's a lot to be said about the anonymity and what it does to people's opinions on the internet. And I know I'm going 100 different places, but this is just kind of what I do. I just kind of just ramble along and along. But the through line is pronouns, and my pronouns are fucking goddamn it, you know. And even that, you can't even like make a joke, you know, and that's another thing which I will reluctantly give a little bit of credit to the right side of things. And the left has to learn how to laugh about it a little bit more. There's a difference, and I think there's a difference between someone saying, you know, some not funny, haha, let's kill the alphabet people type joke, versus someone making a joke about pronouns, you know. And it's like, You're allowed to laugh at that. I'm also allowed to laugh at that. You can go fuck yourself if you're going to police the humor in this, because if you're out of bounds for humor, you will never be accepted. I'm going to tell you that right now. You will never be accepted. As a baby of the 80s and one that grew up in the 90s, I can tell you firmly that gay people learned this. And unfortunately, they went through a lot of pain and suffering to get there. But just plain old run-of-the-mill gay people learned this, that you need to be able to laugh. You need to be able to allow jokes at your expense. It's almost, I know it sounds toxic, but it's almost like hazing. There's always going to be a beginning, whenever you join a new team, whenever you join a new classroom or workforce, whatever, group of people, there's always a feeling out session where there's a period of time where you need to become accepted, right, into that group. Nobody ever shows up into a new group of people that you've never interacted with before and is just instantly welcomed. This is even AA meetings, I'm pretty sure, don't work like this. You don't just show up and everybody loves you. You still have to stand up there and, hi, my name's Dave, and you have to give your story, and people judge you. They talk about you. They hear your problems, right? Anytime, any group, you're going to have some kind of feeling out moment. And in the last 20 years, it has definitely been transgender people have been like the new kids to the party, because they're such a small sliver, which is so important to remember, a sliver of our society. Important to remember, not because we want to just dismiss them, but to remember that this is, again, a small sliver of society. They are still part of society. They should still be treated respectfully. But this is a time and place where those people are now just beginning to get accepted, and just beginning to get more of a foothold and more of a representation in media and all that other shit, which is great. There's no problem with that. There's no issue. And again, we could keep going in 100 directions if we're going to keep talking about transgender people. But the whole goal of this ramble, again, was just the pronoun shit. And again, I really wish more people would just realize that this is not something earth-shattering or devastating. Again, and both sides are really guilty of different things. But, and I don't know who's worse. They're both pretty funny. One watching one side absolutely piss themselves in fear and indignation whenever pronouns are mentioned, because they immediately mean woke terrorism, and then the other side that thinks that when you see them with a wig and a mustache and you mistakenly say sir, that you are intentionally trying to invalidate their entire existence. It's like, no, because if I ask you, some of you yell, I'm gonna get yelled at. I've had that, I've seen that happen, where someone will get mad. It's like, dude, I'm just asking because I don't want to upset you, but now I have upset you by being polite. So next time I'm just gonna say it. But you can't say that either, because that's mean and that's rude. And that's why I didn't say that. That's why I asked, because I wasn't gonna be a snarky little bitch. I was going to be polite and ask. And when you continue, and when you paint, and when people have those experiences, they compound, and eventually they're just gonna not care. But there's definitely, and I don't think there's any discussion here, that side of things, that left side of things, is definitely far more understanding in terms of like, hey, I fucked up, I'm sorry, let me just try again. Whereas the right side of things is, no, this is just not real, stop believing in it, you're stupid, Trump derangement syndrome, because everything is Trump. And it's such a headache. It really is just such a headache. And every time I see pronouns mentioned as a point of contention anywhere, I just make fun of people. It's just become a defense mechanism. I have PTSD from fucking pronouns at this point. I just mock everyone involved in the conversation. That's being the least bit respectful. That's being the least bit disrespectful. Because there's just so much more important shit to worry about. I just don't know how we care this fucking much when people are losing huge amounts of wealth, where people have no access to healthcare, where motherfuckers are being bombed by other countries. There's so much crap going on that we should be far more concerned about. Even down to just the shit in our food is a bigger concern than this kind of stuff, But again, it's a really easy time filler. It generates clicks, generates views, so it's gonna get talked about all the time. I just kind of wish And I guess I'm contributing to it. I'm sorry, but it would be nice for it to go away for a little while. I just want to shit post in peace, my friend. You know? But anyways, put your pronouns in the comments. I'm just so angry all the time. There's just so many women out there. Where did the incel turn come from? I just thought it was funny, and I'm not funny, so sorry. But I really do genuinely hope you have a good day. I just like to rant, and I like to put out these videos to just kind of spitball shit that I've been thinking about. Tarkov's kind of boring right now, not gonna lie to you. I kind of play it on autopilot, so I'm probably gonna take a break for a little while. But I like doing some of this vlog type content here and there, so you'll probably see some of that. And if you don't like that, you know, suck my asshole, I guess. I really do genuinely, all jokes and stupid shit posting crap, all this other nonsense aside, I do genuinely hope that you're doing okay. I respond to all comments. Talk to me. I hope you're doing all right. I hope your family's well. Good luck. You know, stay hopeful. Have a good day.